Hi, this is King of Review. The points of intersection between the line y equals negative 5x and the circle x squared plus y squared equals 20 are at negative 0.877058, 4.38529, and 0.877058, negative 4.38529. Is this true or false? So one method for solving this problem is to find the points of intersection using substitution. We have an equation here for y equals negative 5x, and we're going to substitute negative 5x into the second equation for y, right here. So what does this look like? We have x squared plus y squared equals 20. And notice I left the y blank. Now I'm going to substitute in that y of negative 5x right here in the parentheses. The next step is to apply this second power to each item within the parentheses. So I have x squared plus a negative 5 squared times x squared equals 20. Working this out, I get x squared plus 25x squared equals 20. Combining like terms, I have 26x squared equals 20. And now I want to get a 0 on one side of the equation, so let's move the 20 over to the left. I'll subtract 20 on both sides. So now I have 26x squared minus 20 equals 0. Now, do these two terms share any common factors? They do. They share a common factor of 2. So let's factor out a 2. When I factor out a 2, I get 2 times 13x squared minus 10 equals 0. Now this equation is in the form 0 equals ax squared plus bx plus c. When we have an equation in this form, we can use the quadratic equation to solve for x. The quadratic equation is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and this is all divided by 2a. The a, b, and c values come from these numbers here. So on our equation, a equals 13, b equals 0 because we do not have an x term. There's no x term here, so b is 0, and c equals negative 10. Now, let's use these three values in the quadratic equation. We have x equals negative 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times 13 times negative 10. And this is all divided by 2 times 13. When we simplify, we get 0 plus or minus the square root of 520, and this is divided by 26. So we're going to get two values for x. One will be calculated using this plus sign, and the other is calculated using this minus sign. So use your calculators, and now we get two values for x. We get x equals 0.877058, and we get x equals negative 0.877058. So here are the two x values. These represent the x coordinates of the points of intersection. Now we need to find the y coordinates of the points of intersection. We do this by plugging in these x values to either one of these two equations and solve for y. I'm going to choose this equation here, y equals negative 5x. So plugging in our first x value, f of 0.877, and the number goes on, equals -5 times 0.877, and this equals -4.38529. So we have a point of intersection at 0.877058, -4.38529. This is our first point of intersection. Now let's solve for the second point of intersection. We do this by plugging in our second x value. So f of -0.877, and the number goes on here, equals -5 times -0.877, and this equals 4.38529. So we have a point of intersection at -0.877058, 4.38529. And here is our second point of intersection. You can see that these match the points that are given in the problem, so this is true. Another way to find the points of intersection is to use your graphing calculator and graph these two equations and see where they intersect. You can also do this by hand. Just to give a rough plot of what this looks like, this first equation, y equals -5x, this is a line because it's in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So this equation could be written as y equals -5x plus 0, because it does not have any other terms after the -5x, so we know that the y-intercept is 0. So how would we plot this? Here's our x-axis and our y-axis here. Okay, so if it crosses the y-axis at 0, we'd have a point right here at the origin. And the slope is -5. So that's down 5 over 1. So that would be right here. So we can draw in the line here. So this is what the line portion looks like. And now we know that this is a circle. This is in the form x squared plus y squared equals r squared. R is the radius. So r squared equals 20. So this means that the radius is equal to about 4.5. So we know that the center of this circle is at the origin, and the radius is 4.5, about 4.5. So we know that we have a point here on our circle, a point here, one here, and one here. So we can use these points to draw in a circle. And again, if you did this on your graphing calculator, it would graph this for you, and then you can find the points of intersection that way too. So I'm just doing a rough plot here of what this looks like. And you can see that the line and the circle intersect at 2 points. One is right here, and the other is about here. And we found that we had 2 points of intersection as well. So there are multiple ways to solve this problem. Thanks for watching.